Hey, I'm Peta Carige, a sports dietitian. Apologies for the attire, I've come straight from work. So today I'm just going to talk to you all about managing the holiday season. Lucky for you, I have quite a few rules in regards to managing different aspects of the holiday season. So hopefully you learn a couple of things and pick up a couple of tips to get you through the next 2 to 3 months, which are pretty crazy, as we all know. Firstly, managing parties. I think the thing with parties is that we sometimes try and be too good in the lead up to a party and don't eat enough. Then we get to the party, we have no control over the type and quality of food that's provided. So therefore we're hungry and we get overwhelmed with the nibbly food and we go hell for leather. The best thing to do for when you've got a party in the evening is actually make sure you are full going into it. So therefore, if there's not great options, you can pick and choose. There are always going to be healthy canapes, but there's also always going to be deep fried canapes, especially towards the back end of the night. So with the managing parties, and if anyone's heard me talk about weight loss as well, it's important to be full, and the most important meal of the day leading into a party is afternoon tea. So have a healthy early dinner or have a really big filling afternoon tea such as yogurt, nuts and a piece of fruit, so you don't go to the party having to eat the bad food. The other little tip with managing parties is if you can't control yourself with the cheese or the grazing tables, then don't stand near it. Walk over, fill a little saucer of what you want to try, walk away, have that little saucer of food, and then stop. If you stand near the food, you're going to be tempted, and the little bits of grazing really add up quite quickly. So that's parties. Now dinner. So the other thing is we go out for lots of dinners. Everyone wants to catch up as if come the 25th of December, the world ends and you don't ever see your friends again. So everyone wants to have a catch up in the lead up, which means a lot of dinners out. So I have some rules around dinners, and the main one is you get to choose. You don't get to have every single option when you go out for dinner every time, otherwise you will absolutely blow your energy budget and put on weight quite quickly. So you have a choice between alcohol, entree, bread, or a dessert, plus your meal. So it's an easy rule in the sense that you choose one of the first 4 plus your main meal. If you're only going out once in a week, then have whatever main meal you feel like. It's totally okay to satisfy your cravings. If you're going to a lovely restaurant, please just choose what you feel like. But you only get to have alcohol or an entree or bread or a dessert and your main meal. It's when we have bread on the table, entree, main, dessert and alcohol at a dinner, and you're doing that every week in the lead up to Christmas or multiple times a week, the calories really add up and you blow your energy budget and you put on weight very quickly. With this simple rule, you get to enjoy yourself as well as, I suppose, not losing control. Also think about where you're eating. So if you're going somewhere that has amazing desserts, then that should equip you to then go, okay, I'm gonna have a main and have one of their desserts. If you don't want to drink, then drive so you don't get bullied into it. All these little things about planning ahead and being strong with your personal plan really helps going into this silly season. I was gonna say feral season, but it's happy, so silly season. Compensation. There's no rules around compensation. However, it's something that we all just need to do. It's actually something that dietitians probably do naturally, so it's actually really hard to explain what we do. But if you do have a blowout dinner or a really big party, it's the next day having that chat saying, okay, I'm not going to drop my bundle. I haven't actually ruined everything, but I'm going to get back on track. Or if you know you're going out for a big lunch, thinking about it and having a slightly smaller breakfast. Or if you have a really big lunch, then going, am I actually hungry at dinner? Or can I just have a soup? Or can I have a salad? Or can I have a piece of toast and go to bed? We're also in this habit as a society that we have to eat. Sometimes we don't need to eat. We need to check in around this silly season with our genuine hunger to say, okay, do I really need to eat again, or have I had enough, or am I just eating because people are offering it to me? The other thing with compensation is to just keep moving. You don't need to be crazy and I suppose torture yourself because you've had a meal out, but also thinking, okay, if I've got a really busy weekend of parties, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, during that week, I'm going to say no to the chocolates at the desk at work, and I'm going to say no to the birthday cake because I want to enjoy Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's as much about compensating for what has happened as also thinking and planning ahead. You don't get to eat every single treat that's offered to you and not deal with the ramifications. Alcohol is a fun one, and some of you have heard this from me before. But the important part about alcohol is that it's the alcohol itself that contains energy. No nutrition, just energy. So it's a nutrient that we don't require to live, unfortunately. 1 gram of alcohol, ETOH is a fancy version of alcohol, gives you 29 kilojoules per gram. Second highest nutrient density, only to fat. 1 standard drink contains 10 grams of alcohol. So that's how they figure out a standard drink. So a standard drink of scotch would have 10 grams in 30 mils. Standard drink of beer would have 10 grams in however many, like 200 to 300 mils of beer, depending on the strength. 10 grams of alcohol is 110 to 120 mil of wine, so not very much at all. So in 1 standard drink, before you've mixed that scotch with Coke, you've therefore got 10 grams, 290 kilojoules of energy just from the alcohol, which is the equivalent of like a slice of bread. And then the example I say is that if you mix that, a standard drink with a soft drink or juice, it's like having a slice of bread with thick butter on it. So you're at 290 kilojoules for every drink you have. Then one night out on average is 10 to 20 standard drinks. So then you're looking at, if we round it up, anywhere from 3,000 to 6,000 kilojoules just from the alcohol, okay? What about then if you have any mixes with it or cocktails, it's higher in energy. And then you also get the pizza or macros on the way home. So the energy you can consume on a big night out really racks up. The other important things to note is that once you're drunk, so once you're over the 2 standard drinks per hour, your body sees alcohol as a poison. So your liver basically prioritizes breaking down that poison. However, your liver is also involved in metabolism of food. So whatever you eat when you're drunk can't be processed at the time, so your body pushes it to the side and stores it as fat until it can deal with it later. Not to say, don't do it and enjoy it, but don't be naive where the energy's coming from. So this is why things like low energy mixes are encouraged, like soda water. Tonic water isn't that bad. Water itself, or going for your wines and champagnes aren't very bad, or your lighter beers, because they're lower in alcohol, have less energy. So if you're just being social, having a couple of light beers is probably the best thing you can do. With wines, just be really careful of the pours when you're out. The pours when you're out is about 1.5 to almost 2 standard drinks, depending on the wine. So you can lose track quite quickly and rack up a lot of energy. So that's the bad news about alcohol, but look, in moderation, and when you have it with your food, consume it with your food, your body prefers that, and it doesn't have, I suppose, as bigger negative impact, but it's also just taking into fact that alcohol is giving you energy. So if you still train and eat healthy, but you have, a bottle of wine every night on holidays, that's why the weight came on. It's not because of what you ate. And then lastly, I just want to touch on Christmas, because in Australia, we're actually really lucky. Our Christmas Day food is really healthy, like meat, seafood, and lots of vegetables and salad mostly. it's not the food on Christmas Day, and one day is not going to undo a year of your good work or months of good work. So please enjoy the food Christmas Day. Where we get caught out in the lead up to Christmas and on Christmas Day is actually the snacks that are around. A lot of the Christmas snacks are extremely energy dense. A Lindt ball is like over, I think it's around 10 to 15 minutes of running at 10 kilometers an hour on a treadmill. Like they're energy dense little suckers. I know they taste good. And then you think like a mince pie, very energy dense. Your shortbread, your little apricot balls and rum balls. So it's all of those chocolate-coated nuts, delicious, very energy dense. So it's because all these foods are around and we have little bits here and a little bits at morning tea and a little bit at work. So it's the snacks that do the damage over Christmas, not the food itself. So with the snacks, there's two things to do. A, just be aware and control either the day you're going to have the snacks or the portion you're going to have. Or B, you can look at replacing them with other healthier Christmas snacks. Like you could have raw nuts, you can make some, lower energy apricot balls. You can make sure you've got lots of fresh summer fruit available, which is also delicious and something that we treat ourselves to over Christmas. Or you avoid those treat foods, during the working week altogether and only have it for your special occasions. But you have to think about that because it's all those little treaty things that are around everywhere in the lead up to Christmas. That's where a lot of our extra energy comes from. Okay, so that's my 5 main tip areas. The other one that I haven't spoken about because you're way too equipped here with amazing PTs to help you is just staying active over the holidays. Try not to sit still, make sure you relax, but also keep movement into your holiday activities and get out and enjoy the great outdoors. But also make sure you ask your trainers for, if you're traveling, what you can do in your hotel rooms or what you can do while you're traveling. So you're not just, I suppose, stationary and grazing on the Christmas food is a bit of a wicked combination. I hope that helps, and I hope you all enjoy the silly season, but manage it really well and with a healthy mindset, and you still actually get to enjoy your food and drinks without feeling guilty, but also without undoing all the hard work.